The air in New York feels different tonight. If you walk through Bed-Stuy or cruise through Southside Jamaica, there's a tension you haven't felt since the mid-2000s. For years, we lived in a state of peaceful coexistence between the two biggest egos in the city. 50 Cent was the untouchable mogul in the glass tower, and Maino was the undisputed king of Brooklyn, holding down the pavement. They were the last two survivors of a prehistoric era of rap where your life actually had to match your lyrics. But as of April 2026, the peace treaty hasn't just been signed in blood, it's been set on fire. To understand why Maino finally decided to pull the pin on the grenade, you have to understand the shift in this algorithm. We're living in a time where 50 Cent has become more of a media ghost than a rapper. Between his G-Unit film and television empire and his constant trolling on Instagram, 50 has spent the last 5 years acting as the final boss of the industry. He decides who's relevant, who's a snitch, and who gets a job on a star set. But Maino? Maino isn't a corporate employee. He's the guy who did a decade in the feds and came home to a city that still looks him in the eye. The fracture started over something small, a casting snub for the latest BMF spin-off, but it snowballed into a total ideological war. Maino realized that 50 wasn't just a peer anymore, he was a gatekeeper who had started to look down on the very streets that birthed him. When 50 posted that infamous, and now deleted, meme of Maino's KOB chain with the caption, "Still wearing the same jewelry from '09. Get a job," the clock started ticking. Maino didn't go to Instagram first. He went to the booth. He dropped the algorithm, and he didn't just aim at 50, he aimed at the entire ecosystem that protects him. This track is a surgical strike on the new media. He goes directly at Joe Budden and DJ Academics, calling them out for being the propaganda wing of the corporate rap machine. On the second verse, Maino's voice drops into that gravelly, menacing tone we haven't heard since The Hunger and the Hustle. He raps, "Joe, you traded the tank top for a scarf and some fake deep thoughts, but you still move like a victim. And AK? You're the mascot for a war you'd never fight."
Maino, they was talking about verses. They asked Maino who he would like to do a verses with. He said Joe Budden.
You're feeding the algorithm with our blood while you sip Hennessy in a basement. The internet didn't just react, it imploded. A viral tweet from @hustlehard_New York summed it up. Maino just checked the temperature of the entire industry. Budden and AK have been gatekeeping the truth for years while 50 Cent pulls the strings.
If I can change anything, I would've understood that this game was a...
The algorithm is a 187 on the podcast era. On Instagram, Academics went on a 3-hour rant, visibly shaken, trying to claim Maino is irrelevant, but the comments were flooded with KOB emojis. The people aren't buying the media spin anymore.
What you gotta say to that ass?
Well, we heard
that ass.
But Maino was just getting started. He knew that to hurt 50, he had to attack the myth of the untouchable Southside legend. He took to a live interview that has since become the most watched clip in the city, and he brought up the name 50 Cent hates the most, Jimmy Henchman. This is where the script gets dark. To the 19-year-olds on TikTok, Jimmy Henchman is just a name in a documentary. To Maino, he's a reminder of a time when G-Unit wasn't winning. Maino argued, flat out, that 50 Cent and G-Unit got spanked by the henchman camp during the height of their beef. This isn't just an opinion, it's a reopening of a wound that involved the tragic death of Lowell Lodi Mac Fletcher and the eventual federal takedown of Czar Entertainment. Maino's argument is that 50 only won because the feds cleared the board. When it was just the streets, Maino said, leaning into the mic, Jimmy had them boys shook. They weren't in the clubs. They were in bulletproof SUVs hiding in Connecticut. Let's stop rewriting history like 50 was the only one with muscle. Henchman had the city in a chokehold, and the unit felt every bit of that pressure.
Laughing my ass off. The RAT got poked up in the joint. It's hard to be tough around tough.
The weight of that statement cannot be overstated. It's a direct challenge to 50's invincibility narrative. 50 Cent's entire brand is built on being the one who survived and conquered. By Maino pointing out that 50's victory was arguably a default when handed over by a RICO case, he's stripping the paint off the Ferrari. Then came the song everyone is talking about, Bleed Like Us. The production sounds like a funeral in the rain, heavy bass, haunting pianos, and no hook.
Like 50 said, listen, and 50, we got some motherfucking smoke. I'ma fight 50 ass.
It's just 5 minutes of Maino deconstructing Curtis Jackson. He addresses the Hollywood transformation, accusing 50 of becoming the very thing he used to mock. You're not get rich or die trying anymore, Maino spits. You're get rich and hide in a boardroom. You talk about the streets like it's a script for stars, but you haven't touched a block in 20 years unless there were 50 cops behind you. The reaction from the G-Unit camp was tellingly quiet at first. Tony Yeo posted a
Job on the
Oh,
plane.
man.
Suck ass up. Suck.
cryptic IG story of a lion, but the streets weren't feeling it. A verified report from the source noted that several high-ranking members of the Brooklyn drill scene have already pledged their allegiance to Maino, creating a geographic divide in the city that we haven't seen in decades. Even the veterans are picking sides. Styles P posted a simple, respect the honesty comment under Maino's snippet, which many took as a subtle nod from the Yonkers camp that they're tired of 50s trolling too. But the most complex part of this 2026 saga is Maino's own cleanup. While he's fighting 50, he's also fighting the YouTube truthers. Hassan Campbell has been a persistent shadow, lobbing accusations of cooperation and fakeness at Maino for months. In his new track, Rumors 2026, Maino does a masterclass in narrative control. He addresses Campbell without even giving him the dignity of a name drop. He breaks down the 1990s and early 2000s street politics with a level of detail that only someone who was actually there could know. You're listening to a man who talks to a camera for a check, Maino says in the outro of Rumors. I'm the one who stood in the yard for 10 years and never folded. Check the paperwork. Check the reputation. Don't let a man with a ring light tell you who the real ones are. This was a necessary move. In 2026, a rapper's greatest enemy isn't another rapper, it's a YouTuber with a convincing lie. By addressing the Hassan Campbell noise, Maino solidified his base before the final boss, 50, could use those rumors as fuel for a counterattack. The suspense right now is suffocating. 50 Cent is known for his slow burn responses. He doesn't just drop a song, he tries to dismantle your life. He contacts your sponsors, he buys your old masters, he finds your ex-girlfriend and puts her on a reality show. But Maino seems to have accounted for that. By attacking Budden and academics first, he effectively cut off 50's PR machine. By bringing up henchmen, he reminded the older generation of 50's vulnerabilities. And by dropping Bleed Like Us, he showed that he still has the lyrical switch to compete in a world that has become obsessed with melody over substance. We are watching the last of a dying breed fight for the soul of New York. On one side, you have the corporate juggernaut who turned the struggle into a billion-dollar brand. On the other, you have the king of Brooklyn who refuses to let the history be rewritten. Every Instagram notification feels like a heartbeat. Every new snippet feels like a declaration of war. As one veteran journalist from Vibe put it, this isn't about music anymore. This is about the legacy of the New York street rapper. If 50 wins, it proves that money and media power trump everything. If Maino stands his ground, it proves that the streets still have a vote. The algorithm is currently favoring the chaos. Maino is up on points, but you can never count 50 out. He's the man who survived 9 shots. He's not going to let a king from the neighboring borough take his crown without a bloodbath. The question for the fans, the tweets, and the culture isn't who is the better rapper, it's who is the more real man when the cameras are turned off and the bank accounts are frozen. Maino has made his move. He's called out the industry, the media, and the mogul. He's addressed the rumors and invoked the ghosts of the past. Now, the entire world is looking at 50 Cent, waiting to see if the Ferrari still has an engine, or if it's just a shiny shell parked in a Hollywood garage. The New York Civil War of 2026 has just begun, and the first casualty was the lie that everyone in the city was all good. They aren't. And Maino is making sure we all know exactly why.